May the peace of God continue to be with you. For some days, I have received questions from some Pathfinders wanting to know the difference between the Pathfinder uniform Class A and Class B, and what other uniforms that are available for the Pathfinder ministry. In this video, I will try my best to share my view. My views are not the final authority. So these Pathfinders want to know the various uniforms that are allowed and its classification in the youth ministry, especially in Pathfindering. So before I even talk about the classifications of uniforms, as these Pathfinders want to know, I would like to begin by saying that uniforms and insignias are stipulated, regulated, and enforced by the Uniform and Insignia Committee from the Union, Conference, Districts, and Local Church. Now, there is supposed to be a uniform, or there is a Uniform and Insignia Committee at the Union. So in Ghana, the Southern Ghana Union has or should have a Uniform and Insignia Committee. The various conferences must also have a Uniform and Insignia Committee. Now, the districts can or should have a Uniform and Insignia Coordinator or Committee. And these committees or coordinators are supposed to make sure that they enforce and regulate uniform and insignias in the youth ministry vis-a-vis the Pathfinder ministry. Their job is to certify logos, certify tokens, certify honors, accept honors, any idea, anything that Pathfinders will want to use on their uniform and in the club. This is the work of the committee. In most conferences across the globe, these committees exist and they may have different names, but then their job is somehow similar or same. Now, that being said, let me move on to the classifications. Pathfinder ministry, once again, was modeled around the Scout movement and the American Army. And because it was modeled around these two groups have classifications for uniforms, so that it can help them know what to wear for what event and what occasion. In the same way, Pathfinder ministry has uniforms that have been set by the Uniform and Insignia Committee for occasions and events and ceremonies. Now, the first classification of uniform is the Uniform Class A, which is otherwise called the ceremonial uniform. Uniforms that belong to the uniforms that belong to Class A are uniforms that are worn for special occasions and events. They can also be worn to any event that will be stipulated by the local club Uniform and Insignia Coordinator, or the district's Uniform and Insignia Committee or Coordinator, or the conference Uniform and Insignia Committee or Coordinator, and the union Uniform and Insignia Committee or Coordinator. Now, in Pathfindering in Ghana, the uniform that is usually used as Class A is the Pathfinder white top and green trousers or skirt. Now, the best practice or the standard, when I say standard, what I mean is that the common practice across the globe in Seventh-day Adventism and in Pathfinder ministry is that the Class A uniform is either the white and green trousers or skirt, or the white top and any other trousers that is stipulated as uniform Class A in the conference. I'm saying this because various unions and divisions and conferences have various uniforms for Pathfinders, because we do not want to conflict with state security institutions. So we are very careful with the kind of uniform we sew. And so in some places, the Class A uniform is maybe wine top or pink top and burgundy skirts. It varies from place to place. But then in Ghana, because we are in Ghana, let me talk about Ghana and most part of Africa. In Ghana and most part of Africa, the uniform Class A is the white top and the forest green trousers or the forest green skirt, which is worn for Pathfinder days, investitures, Global Youth Day, and any other occasion that is deemed ceremonial or that is stipulated or requested by the Uniform and Insignia Committee. That being said, let me quickly move on to the uniform Class B. With the uniform Class B, the standard, when I say standard again, I mean the best practice, the common practice, what is done all over the world or majority parts of the world. The uniform Class B is the khaki top and the forest green trousers or skirts. Now, the uniform Class B is also nicknamed field uniform. Again, it is inspired by the Scouts and the Army. The reason why it is called field uniform is that is the uniform Pathfinders wear for field events, excursions, hikings, floats, route march, camping when you are at a camp, and every other day apart from the opening ceremony. That is the uniform you wear for all your activities, for attending youth meetings and a lot of events or any other occasion that will be mandated by the Uniform and Insignia Committee. The reason why there is a big distinction between the Uniform Class A and the Uniform Class B is, and why the Uniform Class B is called the field uniform, the Uniform Class A is called ceremonial uniform, is again, with the Uniform Class B, the nature and color of the uniform is such that it will be well suited for outdoor events. It can withstand the wear and tear and dust of the outdoor. And as such, the color khaki, which is like the ground or the earth, and green, which is like the woods or the green grass. In fact, in most places, the Uniform Class B once again is different. It comes in several shades and colors. That is it. But in Ghana, the Uniform Class B is a khaki top and green trousers for Pathfinders, what some people call Master Guide uniform. In fact, there is no Master Guide uniform. Master Guides are people who work with Pathfinders, and so they wear the Pathfinder uniform. So if Pathfinders are mandated to wear their Class A uniform, Master Guides will also wear the Pathfinder Class A uniform. Pathfinders are to wear their Class B uniform, Master Guides will wear their Class B uniform. These are the two common classifications of uniform. But in some part of the world, there is also another classification of uniform, that is the Uniform Class C. The uniforms that belong to this class are club t-shirts, camp t-shirts, Campori t-shirts, Global Youth t-shirts. I mean, the t-shirts that we produce in the youth ministry. Now, I said club t-shirt. The club t-shirts come in two different types. There are the general Pathfinder t-shirts, the one that we wear, which identify as Pathfinders globally. Global Youth Day t-shirt, Pathfinder Strong, all these ones are Pathfinder club t-shirts. And then we have the local club Pathfinder t-shirts. Now, Pathfinders are supposed to get club names, and the club names come with the unique club logo, which sort of identifies the club and tells the history and what the club stands for, apart from the general Pathfinder logo. Now, these individual local club logos can be used for club t-shirts. I'm not saying must be used. They can be used for club t-shirts. Now, when they are used for club t-shirts, I mean, these fall or become part of the Class C uniforms in most parts of the world. Once again, all these things must be regulated by the Uniform and Insignia Committee from the local church to the union level. Another classification of uniform also pops up apart from the Class C, and that is the Class D set of uniforms. Apart from Class D, I've never seen any other class of uniform aside A, B, C, D. So the Class D uniforms are the uniforms we call the special group uniforms. Now, what do I mean by special group uniforms? In the Pathfinder ministry, clubs are allowed to form drum corps, drill team, medical team, community volunteer team. These groups that are part of the youth ministry, that are Pathfinders, are allowed to have a different set of uniform that sort of identifies them. The reason for this is that these groups can be invited, they can be used for special ceremonies without the inclusion of the other members of the Pathfinder club. Now let me explain that again. For example, the drum corps in the Pathfinder club can be invited to play alongside the state security institution for Independence Day parades. So in Ghana, Seaview Winds Band or the Basdak band can be invited by the police or by the army or by any institution to join them to sort of come and play, and they need the band alone. They do not need the whole Pathfinder club. Because of that, the band can represent the club and the group in a special uniform, which is also allowed in the Seventh-day Adventist ministry. Now, when such uniforms are sewn or when such uniforms are used, they still have the logos of the general Pathfinder club and the band logo. It is for this reason why there is a special patch for drill team and band and medical corps, and there are even ribbons, Pathfinder ribbons matching these special groups, so that if you are not a member of the drill team or the band corps or the medical team, you don't wear the uniform. The beauty is that uniform is not worn always. They wear them for the ceremonies or the occasions they are invited solely as a group and not as the collective Pathfinder. Again, these uniforms must be regulated or are regulated by the Uniform and Insignia Committee from the union level all the way to the local church level. Now, that being said, you realize that I've talked about a whole lot of things: Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D. Sometimes, because of cost to the club, because of cost to parents, because of cost to the church, in some places, the standard is that they just stick to uniform Class A and Class B. Some stick to uniform Class A, B, and C and leave the D. Now, what do they do when they leave one out? So in some places, for the Class A uniform, it still becomes the ceremonial uniform or the official uniform, and it can come in any color. In Ghana, let's say the white top and then the green trousers or skirt. And then for the Class B, instead of getting the khaki top and the green trousers, or the khaki top and khaki trousers, or whatever the uniform they want to use for Class B, they rather use the club t-shirts. So in some places, the uniform Class A is khaki top and green trousers, what we call the uniform Class B, and the uniform Class B is club t-shirts, so that they just stick to one official uniform and club t-shirts. And so it varies from place to place, and this happens when there is cost. Now, the challenge here, and I actually realized this when the Pathfinders were asking me this question. They are concerned about situations where a uniform has been officially designated as Class B or Class C, in this case club t-shirts, and then we are going for a program say Campori or Camp, and a uniform that they know as Class C is now written that Class B is T-shirts. Yes. So, my dear Pathfinders, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Again, these uniforms and insignias are controlled, are regulated by the Uniform and Insignia Committee. So they have rights to make such changes. However, with the classes I mentioned them for the standard Pathfinder Club. We can have classification of uniform for ceremonies or events. Yes, it is done. It is allowed. The point I'm trying to make is that all these things are not cast in stone. Why? The reason why uniform classifications, though important, they are not cast in stone is because that is not the main aim of the Adventist Youth Ministry. In fact, the uniforms and the insignias and the pins and stuff, they are just accessories or auxiliaries. The main aim is leading young people to Jesus Christ and helping them to accept his call of discipleship by spreading and sharing the Advent message in our generation. We can do that without wearing uniforms. We can do that without having a Class B or Class C or Class Z or Class F. So don't be so much concerned about things which should not be a majority. Don't make a majority out of a minority and make a minority out of a majority. The Uniform and Insignia Committee at the union or conference can say that for this Campori, or even for this year, from January to December, this is the uniform classification you are going to use. Or for the next 4 years. That is why I said these uniforms are regulated by the Uniform and Insignia Committee. Of course, I understand. I agree with you that for consistency, such things shouldn't be done. I perfectly agree, so that it will not create doubt and problems in the minds of parents and Pathfinders who know that for the beginning of the year, uniform Class A is white top and green trousers, and uniform Class B is khaki and green trousers, and all of a sudden we get a list saying that for this camp or for this event or for this Campuri we are going, the uniform Class B is T-shirts. It will create confusion only if you don't understand some of these things. The uniform classification is just for the Campuri. So they are saying that for this Campuri, for this event, the Class A uniform is this and the Class B uniform is this. Why? So that when you hear the announcement that in this Campuri, at this event, everybody should go and wear Class B uniform, you will know what to go for. So the classification is just to help us differentiate our uniform and know what to wear at a point in time. The conference or union has the liberty, has the right to set uniform standards for occasions and events aside the already standards they have set. Why? Because it is a one-off occasion. The camp you are about to go, the event you are about to go is not going to run from January to December. No, it is a period, for a short period, and as such, for Pathfinders to be able to know what to take and to be able to know what to wear for that program, the union or the committee is saying this uniform is classified as this, is classified as A and B for the sake of the event, for the sake of the program. Please leave your comment in the comment section, or if you have any other thoughts, please share with me so that I can also enlighten myself and learn. Once again, accept the call of Jesus Christ and be his disciple, and share what you have seen and known about Jesus Christ, because there is nothing beautiful than the love of Christ. And so for the love of Christ, let it constrain us to do our honest part. God be with you. We'll meet another time. Bye bye.